So, you want to invest in cryptocurrencies? I don't blame you. After all, a few years ago, the number of Bitcoin millionaires would fill this tiny section of the Seattle Seahawks football stadium, about 1,000 seats. Today, the number of Bitcoin millionaires would fill the entire stadium, every single seat. That's because, thanks to Bitcoin's incredible 5-year rally, there are now 100,000 Bitcoin millionaires. Many invested in Bitcoin early on and watched their account swell as it soared from a few $100 to over $60,000. If you're one of those millionaires, congratulations. But if you're not, don't worry, because you're about to get a second chance. Because as amazing as that Bitcoin rally was, it's about to look tiny, like a blip on a chart. That's because experts are saying this next rally could be 20 times greater. Think about that. 20 times greater, potentially creating enough millionaires to fill this stadium 20 times. However, this massive rally won't come from Bitcoin. It will come from a lesser-known alternative crypto that experts are calling the next-gen coin. A crypto Goldman Sachs confessed could overtake Bitcoin, and the NASDAQ confirmed is a contender to be the next crypto king. Which is why JP Morgan revealed big institutions are piling in, and so are the rich and famous. Mark Cuban proclaimed this next-gen coin will dwarf Bitcoin. Billionaire hedge fund manager Ken Griffin said the next-gen coin is superior to Bitcoin and will eventually replace it. And Elon Musk made sure it was one of only 3 coins that he owns. That's because, as you're about to see, this next-gen coin has the ability to overtake Bitcoin and power the rails of global finance. Allow that to sink in for a moment. Experts are saying this next-gen coin has the ability to power the rails of global finance, a $100 trillion industry. For comparison, the 5G market is worth $50 billion. The artificial intelligence market is $60 billion. And the electric vehicle market is nearly $1 trillion. Yet the global finance industry is $100 trillion. And this next-gen coin is at the center of it all. It's no wonder experts predict it will be 20 times bigger than Bitcoin. But if you want to invest, if you want the opportunity to have a seat in the Millionaire Stadium, you'll have to act within the next 3 months, because as this report explains, an upgrade will revolutionize this coin, potentially sending it 70 times higher. Yet, 99% of Americans don't even know this coin exists. Today, right here on this stage, I'm interviewing the man who put this report together. His name is Ian King. He's the former hedge fund manager who's been taking the crypto market by storm with a string of wins that include gains as high as 1,000% in Binance, 1,900% in Solana, and an impressive 18,000%, yes, 18,000% in Luna, each win coming within a year or less. His uncanny track record explains why over 70,000 people from 119 countries eagerly pay for his insight, including advisors at Wall Street's top firms such as Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and JP Morgan. So take out a pen and a piece of paper and get ready to be amazed, because today, for the first time ever, Ian King is going to reveal everything you need to know about this next-gen coin. Ian, thanks for joining us for this special event.
Thanks for having me, John. It's great to be here.
All right, over the last decade, nearly every single American, including me, has become curious about cryptocurrencies. It's hard not to when we see a coin like Bitcoin rise from just $10 to over $60,000, turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires.
It's crazy, right? We went from about 1,000 Bitcoin millionaires, and that was enough to fill a small section of a football stadium, to 100,000 Bitcoin millionaires. Now that's enough to fill an entire stadium, John, and this happened in just the last 5 years.
And that is incredible. But it also makes me feel like I've been left behind, that I'll never have a seat in that millionaire stadium.
You know, John, you're not alone. And to be brutally honest, you won't. that opportunity, it's gone. You'll never have a chance to make those kinds of gains again in Bitcoin.
But I can somewhere else, right?
You can. In the next-gen coin that I describe in that report right in front of you, John, it's better than Bitcoin and the 10,000 other coins out there, such as Dogecoin and Ripple. And this coin is positioned to stage an historic rally at any moment.
And you expect this opportunity to be 20 times bigger than Bitcoin, right?
I do. And that's because of what's going to happen on the upgrade date. It's the reason why I and other experts believe this next-gen coin has the potential to power the rails of all global finance.
Wow. Power the rails of global finance. So you're effectively saying it'll be the foundation of the entire global finance industry.
It sounds crazy, right? The stock markets, banking, insurance, real estate, derivatives, everything, John.
So every time I swipe my credit card, every time I buy a stock, and every time I send money to a friend, this next-gen coin will be at the center of it all, right?
John, I've been in and around Wall Street for 2 decades now, and my research here has never been more conclusive. We're talking about disrupting a global financial market valued at, get this, $100 trillion.
It's almost unfathomable. Now, you and we've been talking a lot over the last month about this topic, and that $100 trillion number was almost too hard for me to comprehend. So I had my team create this chart. It really puts everything into perspective. The 5G market is worth $50 billion. The artificial intelligence market is $60 billion. And the electric vehicle market is nearly $1 trillion. They're all big industries responsible for massive stock market gains over the last 5 years or so, such as Marvel's 1,000% gain, NVIDIA's 2,000% rise, and Tesla's 2,500% rise. Yet the global financial industry is worth $100 trillion, and this one coin is going to transform it, right?
Well, transform is kind of a weak word here. That a financial industry is about to be blindsided, John. This coin is going to shake up the entire industry. I mean, just flip it on its head. Just like Netflix blindsided the traditional entertainment industry and Amazon blindsided traditional retail, this coin is going to blindside traditional finance as we know it.
Which is why investors should be leaning in and paying close attention.
Exactly. This next-gen coin is one of the biggest investment opportunities in history. Cathie Wood is even calling for a 7,200% rally by the end of the decade.
All right, 7,200%. Think about that. And I can invest in this coin today, right?
Yes, and you should invest today. I think you can start with as little as $20 if you want. But you should invest soon because institutional money is starting to pile in right now. UBS, JP Morgan, and of course, Cathie Wood's ARK are all accumulating positions in this next-gen coin.
I got to tell you, I mean, how much money are we actually talking about here then?
John, tens of billions of dollars. And it's not just from big institutions. I mean, the world's richest people are also seizing this opportunity. Mark Cuban is loading up, saying this next-gen coin has the most upside. So are Ray Dalio and even Elon Musk, John.
Okay, those are some heavy hitters. So the smart money is buying this next-gen coin as we speak. And if folks out there want a chance to become the next crypto millionaire, they need to act now because these guys see what you see and what you describe in this document as an upgrade.
That's exactly right. And they want to invest before the upgrade date, which my sources say will be in about the next 3 months.
All right, got it. And right now, we can invest alongside Wall Street, hedge funds, and billionaires, right?
Exactly, John. America's biggest tech firms, such as Tesla, Google, and Amazon, are starting to invest too. The list is growing by the minute. Now, this next-gen coin is starting to move higher already. It's going up right now as we're having this conversation. My point is, when the big money, the smart money, and big tech starts to pile in, this is where you want to buy in.
All right, and right now is the time.
Yes. Take a look at this pie chart. Less than 1% of the world knows this coin exists. Fewer own it. But word is getting out right now.
And as this happens, as the word gets out, this coin, it's going to take off.
Absolutely.
Which is why we're here today. Now, To make sure you don't miss this opportunity, in just a minute, Ian's going to reveal the details on this next-gen coin. He'll also explain why this upgrade is so important and how you can invest in this coin today, because this is like investing in Bitcoin 5 years ago, right?
It is, John, but it's a much bigger opportunity. Now, my sources are saying that within the next decade, the market value will be 20 times bigger than Bitcoin.
Well, if anyone knows what that's like, it's you. You've been investing in and out of Bitcoin since 2013, when it was trading for about $100, and you are one of the most accurate crypto experts in the world. In fact, you called the 1,000% Bitcoin rally during a live interview. Hey, can we get that clip, please? Now, here's what I want you to listen closely, because as Bitcoin was falling from $20,000 to $6,000, Ian made a bold statement.
Bitcoin's down about 75% from its high in December. And if you like Bitcoin 6 months ago or 9 months ago, you better love it down here. What's happening in the crypto markets is we had a mania last year, and following a mania, following a boom, you have an equivalent bust. Now, this bear market is starting to hit an inflection point because a lot of the crypto assets that have been dropping are starting to stabilize. And behind the scenes, even though the prices have been dropping, these companies are still raising tremendous amounts of capital. In fact, crypto assets have raised more money in 2018 than 2017, even though the total market cap is down about 80%.
All right, now we have a chart that shows how this played out. Ian called Bitcoin's bottom right around here, and then it rebounded. It took a few months, but it went on to rally over 1,000%. However, at the time, the media was bashing Bitcoin. Entrepreneur called it the swindle of the century. Goldman Sachs said Bitcoin is never coming back, and others warned Bitcoin investors will get slaughtered. So they said it was getting slaughtered, while Ian said buy. So Ian, what did you see that they didn't?
Well, for one, I could see the smart money was piling in. Now, at that time, Andreessen Horowitz raised $300 million for a crypto fund. Peter Thiel also started a Bitcoin fund worth hundreds of millions. Soros Fund Management and Rockefeller's venture capital arm Venrock also got into the action. Even Yale University's endowment started to invest in Bitcoin back then.
Now, these are investors who rarely go public with what they're doing, right?
Right, but all that smart money flowing into Bitcoin kicked off a chain reaction. The big money started piling in. I mean, you had Ray Dalio, Stanley Druckenmiller, and Paul Tudor Jones, famous investors. They all started loading up on crypto. At the same time, venture capital firms invested $30 billion in the space. Companies like Square invested $200 million. Tesla invested $1 billion. And MicroStrategy, John, have you heard of this? They invested all of their cash reserves, over $3 billion into Bitcoin. Here's my point, and this is important for viewers at home to understand. When I see the smart money loading up, I know the big money will follow.
I agree, and that is a very important point for viewers to catch. So when you see the smart money loading up, you know the big money's going to follow.
And sure enough, pretty soon, Wall Street changed its attitude about crypto. Now, it was leaked that Morgan Stanley was the first big U.S. bank to offer only its wealthy clients access to Bitcoin. And Goldman Sachs followed suit 1 month later. I mean, pretty soon, Wall Street firms offered big pay increases to amass crypto armies full of new analysts.
Crypto armies? Wow, now that sounds intense.
It was. I mean, even stodgy old banks and insurance companies, firms you'd never think of, like Mass Mutual and BNY Mellon, are accumulating positions in crypto.
And look what happened. In roughly a year, Bitcoin went up and continued to rally more than 1,000%.
John, this is why I say it's so important to watch what the smart money is doing in anything you invest in.
All right, so how does one do that? How can I follow the smart money?
I mean, you can, and most people can't. It's just too complicated. It's too expensive, and it's time-consuming. However, I work with a team of about 20 people, including chartered market technicians and CFAs who are monitoring feeds like Bloomberg and CapIQ to see what the smart money is doing before everyone else. John, we spend millions of dollars a year to track exactly where the money is flowing.
Well, I got to tell you, that makes sense. And when the smart money moves in, the big money follows. And when tens of billions of dollars pour into an investment, the results are inevitable. The price soars.
And that's especially with cryptocurrencies. You have to remember, the entire crypto market is only worth about $2 trillion right now. John, compare that to the global financial market, which is worth $100 trillion.
So what you're saying is the cryptocurrency market is really still in its infancy.
That's exactly what I've been saying. And what we're seeing now is a bunch of big institutions that are shifting their money out of stocks and bonds into cryptos.
So it seems that when the institutions move just a little bit of their money over to cryptos, the market is going to explode higher.
John, that's underestimating it. I mean, if they move just 2% of their money, the entire market will double. But the top cryptos, like this next-gen coin we're talking about today, will absolutely soar. Now, right now, its market cap is just about this size. And now that billions of institutional dollars are starting to flood into this coin, well, I expect Cathie Wood's prediction will absolutely come true. We'll see 7,200% growth by the end of the decade.
I'm guessing what you're saying is the 7,200% could actually be conservative.
It could be. Again, the money is just starting to flow in, so you'll want to invest before the upgrade.
Well, Ian, I can't wait to learn more. I want to sit at that millionaire table, and I want to hear more about this upgrade. But hard to believe, but you may have a few doubters out there in our audience. So I want to take a moment to talk about your track record.
Let's do it.
Okay. Now, I want you to hear these because it's important you understand that Ian King is easily one of the most accurate investors in the world. Now, you've likely seen Ian on major media outlets where he's given away some amazing recommendations, such as this interview from 2018 when he recommended both Apple and Google. Both have gone up over 200% since his recommendation. In February of 2020, Ian even warned the Fox News audience about the coronavirus, saying, "We haven't seen this fully play out yet." 1 month later, the markets crashed. However, even more impressive, Ian went on to recommend multiple cryptos for people to invest in. On May 4th, 2020, Ian recommended Binance at just $17 per coin. Less than a year later, on February 18th, he sold the position for about $200, a gain of 1,061%. That's a 10x gain in just 1 year. In December of 2020, he recommended Solana. It was the faster version of Ethereum. It was trading for under $2. And just 5 months later, he sold half the position for over $34. That's a gain of 1,900%. The other half has gone up as high as 15,000%, 150-fold. Ian recommended Luna the same month at just 48 cents, a mere 48 cents. 4 months later, he recommended selling half the position for over $19, a profit of 3,900%. And then he sold the last half in December of 2021, just 1 year after he bought it for $89. That's a gain, get this folks, of 18,325%. Ian, truly spectacular. People made 180 times their money on that one trade. Now, to help our viewers put this into perspective, every one of these turns into this, and this.
I mean, that does put it into perspective, John. Look, it was a great win for us.
Great? Ian, that's one for the record books. You've received dozens of letters from people who have followed your recommendation to buy Luna. Hey folks, a quick update. All three of those trades I just mentioned were from one of Ian's premium research services. People collectively spent over $12 million to access those kinds of trades. But today, for the first time ever, Ian's revealing how he can get his top crypto recommendation, this next-gen coin, to everyone watching. But as you'll see in a moment, he goes even further. He's about to detail 3 additional cryptos he calls 100x coins. There's the Google of crypto, the Amazon of crypto, and the Meta coin. Like the Luna coin I just mentioned, each of these cryptos has the potential to go up 100-fold within a decade. 100-fold. So again, have a pen and a piece of paper handy. You'll want to get all the details. You've received dozens of letters from people who have followed your recommendation to buy Luna. And I know, you're eager to hear more about the next-gen coin, but I want to take a minute to read a few of the letters, because these are letters from people who once sat in your seat, watching a presentation just like this one. They started following Ian's insights and made a ton of money. This first letter is from Charles. He's from Texas and said, "Wow, I never thought returns like this were possible. I bought Luna about a year ago with $835. I took some money out in April because I needed it. I just sold the balance yesterday. I estimate my total profit to be $54,000. So Charles turned $800 into $54,000 within a year. Now, the best part, he said, I've already bought a Harley Davidson with these profits.
That's awesome. Charles, if you're watching right now, congratulations. You're one of the few who had the chance to invest and make gains like this. Enjoy your Harley. I love hearing stories like this, John. It just makes my work so personally rewarding.
Well, then you're going to love this next letter. This one's from Edward. He said, I invested $1,300 into Luna. I held on for the entirety until December 22nd when I sold all my coins for $88. I made over $150,000 profit on this one coin. So Edward turned $1,300 into $150,000. Now, these are small investments that are turning into six-figure windfalls.
It's absolutely incredible, John. And the nice thing about gains like this, they don't have to bet the farm to actually buy a farm eventually. And look, it was a great market. The stars really aligned for us. And results like this aren't typical.
Yeah, but I've heard a lot of experts say that they can do this kind of stuff, but I've never seen the proof. Not like this. You are the real deal, and you've been doing this since 2013. Again, Edward turned $1,300 into $150,000. That's insane. Now, before the show, I did some calculations. It would take Edward over 60 years to make the same gains in the stock market. 60 years. Yet, Edward made those gains in 1 year.
Well, a year and 2 days to be exact. And that's what's possible when you can see what the smart money is doing and get in before the big money piles in, John. A person like Edward can make 60 years of gains in just 1 year.
And as you said, this next-gen coin in this report is going to be even more exciting. And the folks watching right now, they can start investing for as little as $20. I got to tell you, I can't wait to hear more. But first, one more letter. This is from Linda in Arizona. She wrote, Dear Ian, or as I tell my husband, Sugar Daddy, I was brand new to crypto investing when I started following you. I was scared, but I put $500 into each trade, Luna being one of them. I sold half when you told us to, and the other half today. My total gain, $42,300. She turned $500 into $42,300. Ian, or should I say Sugar Daddy, she said she was scared, but now, thanks to you, she has $42,000.
Well, that's great to hear, and that's what investing like this is all about. However, again, I do want to be clear. This is an exceptional example. Most of my recommendations don't go up 18,000%, John.
All right, Ian, you're being humble. The average trade that these folks had access to has lasted a little over a year, 16 months and 7 days to be exact. And you're averaging, get this, 1,640% per trade. 1,640%. That includes both winners and losers. That's unreal.
Yeah, and again, John, I have to give credit to my team. They're completely zeroed in on finding us winning trades.
All right, now I've met your team, and they're extremely impressive. Now, I don't know anyone, Ian, in any industry at any point in history who has ever averaged over 1,600% per trade. And those are just the trades you guys closed out. It's amazing to think that this next-gen coin, the one our viewers can buy a stake in for just $20, could eclipse all of this.
It is amazing. But full transparency, if our viewers want these kinds of gains, they'll have to act fast. Look, if you buy in the next 3 months before the upgrade date, you'll be in a great position, a really great position, because my research shows that this coin will be 20 times bigger than Bitcoin, John.
So explain to our viewers how this is actually possible. How can this next-gen coin have 20 times the potential?
I was hoping you'd ask me this question. It's because what I call the next-gen effect. Now, what this means is that 2.0 is always bigger and better than 1.0.
Okay, so explain what you mean. And while you're doing that, I'm going to put away all this money that we have up here.
Sure. So think about MySpace, John. It was the 1.0 version of social media. It took off and was all the rage. But then Facebook came along and overtook it. It was the 2.0 version. Early backers like Peter Thiel saw his investment grow about 10 million%. Every dollar he invested back in 2004 has turned into $100,000, John. Now, you don't have any bowls filled with $100,000 $1 bills back there, do you?
No, I don't. Actually, that might take a truck. Now, to your point, that is really insane. And as mentioned, Peter Thiel is now investing in this next-gen coin.
That's right. Great memory. And we have the chance to invest alongside him. Now, Alta Vista is another example. I don't know if you remember the search engine, but it was the 1.0 version of the search engine. But then Google came along and overtook it. It was the 2.0 version. And John, early Google investors such as Jeff Bezos made a 3 million% gain. His $250,000 stake back in 1998 has turned into an $8.5 billion windfall.
Wow. Again, this is insane. Now, is Bezos also investing in this next-gen coin?
So what I've been hearing from my sources is that they've confirmed that he has over $1 billion in cryptos already. And that strongly suggests he does indeed own this coin. But he's not publicly confirmed it yet. So one more example, John. BlackBerry. You know, it used to be the go-to smartphone, especially in the business world. I'm sure you had one as well. Mm-hmm. But then Apple came out with the iPhone and it overtook it. Shares of Apple were priced at a split-adjusted 25 cents back in 2002. Really cheap, huh? They've now traded for as much as $180. That's a gain of 72,000%.
All right. Those examples are insane. Okay, so your point is the next-gen effect is when a 2.0 version surpasses the 1.0 version. And when that happens, massive profits can be made. And that's what's happening right now in crypto.
You nailed it, John. Bitcoin was the early mover. It's the 1.0 version of crypto. And while I think Bitcoin may still have some room to go up, I mean, make no doubt, the better bet is the 2.0 version. As always, this next-gen crypto is about to take the crypto world by storm. I mean, the smart money is already investing. The big money is starting to follow, along with everyone else. That's why you'll want to invest soon, John. All my research states that this next-gen coin will be 20 times bigger than Bitcoin.
And if you're right, like you've been so many times, we're going to see a ton of new millionaires.
Correct. We're talking about creating an historic amount of wealth creation over the next decade.
Well, there are over 100,000 Bitcoin millionaires, enough to fill an entire football stadium. And if this is going to be 20 times bigger, we could fill up 20 of these football stadiums. That's a lot of millionaires. We're talking about 2 million next-gen millionaires.
Well, the 2.0 is always better than the 1.0. And as history has shown, the time to invest is now.
But how is it better? I mean, I get how Facebook made social media better. I get how Google made search better. And I get how Apple made phones better. So how will this next-gen coin make crypto better? And can you explain this with the, not going into too many technical details for me?
John, I'm going to make this as easy as possible. You see, many of the crypto coins that you hear about all the time, they have the ability, that's the potential, to cut out the middleman And these would be the banks, the insurance companies, the realtors, brokers, the mortgage companies, and Wall Street.
I get it. So these coins allow us to do any transaction peer-to-peer.
Well, that's the beauty of the blockchain. It allows us to make transactions safely and securely. So the entire global financial industry, a $100 trillion industry, is about to be disrupted. Now, however, as I said, most coins have the potential to do this, but they're not there yet. But once this upgrade hits, John, all of that changes.
So what exactly is this upgrade?
It's when this next-gen coin gets a major boost that will allow it to crush its competition. You see, one of the major hangups is the amount of volume that these coins can handle.
So the number of transactions that they can process?
Right. For example, right now, Bitcoin processes about 5 transactions per second. But the next-gen coin currently can process about 30 per second.
Wow. Now, that sounds impressive. 30 is a lot more than 5.
It does sound impressive, but it's not really if you want to disrupt the entire global financial system. Visa, for example, handles 1,700 transactions a second. So right now, the next-gen coin at 30 transactions per second is completely handicapped. But after this upgrade, everything will start to change. It'll have the ability to do 30 transactions, then 300, then 3,000, then 30,000, and then, get this, John, a full 100,000 transactions per second.
Wow. 100,000 transactions per second?
That's right. 100,000. That's 50 times the speed of Visa. And this is key. At a fraction, a tiny fraction of the cost.
So it's faster and cheaper.
I mean, a lot cheaper. Right now, the typical business in America gets charged 2% up to 3.5% every time you swipe your card, which is why Visa, American Express, Discover, and MasterCard made a combined $100 billion last year.
Well, and those small fees, they really add up. So this next-gen coin is going to disrupt that entire industry.
John, all those fees, a big chunk of that $100 billion, will start to go back into our economy. And it's not just the credit card industry. Again, the entire financial industry will be disrupted. All $100 trillion of it. Take banking, for example, John. Do you know how much your bank pays you for the money in your savings account right now?
Maybe really nothing? Maybe 0.01%?
Right, nothing. But if you save your money in this next-gen coin, you can make up to 10% a year.
Wow, now that would be incredible. And people are making that right now?
Yes, right now, because without getting too technical, it allows you to become the bank. This is all just a tip of the iceberg. It's going to upgrade the way you invest in stocks, real estate, even collectibles like art and sports memorabilia, and I know you're a big fan of that, John.
Well, absolutely. So in sum, it's poised to give the entire financial system a major and long overdue an upgrade as well.
Long overdue is correct. And the word is spreading fast. I mean, Forbes reported that the technology behind this coin is sending seismic waves through the landscape of finance. ING Bank says it's going to be more disruptive to banks than Bitcoin. And Mark Cuban, you know who that is,
Absolutely.
He commented, banks should be scared. Celebrities from basketball star Steph Curry to Jay-Z to the Kiss frontman Gene Simmons, John, are piling into this next-gen coin.
Wow. Gene Simmons? Well, hey, if Gene Simmons is in, I'm in. But to your point, word is getting out that this coin rally could be taking off really soon. And as a 20-year Wall Street veteran, you're saying this coin will recreate the entire financial system. We're talking about, get this, a $100 trillion industry.
John, it's one that's 2,000 times bigger than the 5G. It's 1,000 times bigger than artificial intelligence. And it's even 100 times bigger than the electric vehicle market.
Wow. All right. So I can see how this next-gen coin could easily shoot up to a $20 trillion market cap in the next decade. That's 20 times the size of Bitcoin.
I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Based on my research, we're looking at the greatest investment opportunity in history. And look, cryptos aren't just another stock opportunity like Facebook, Google, or Apple. Their potential is even bigger. It's an entirely new asset class. This is a once in a 500-year thing. It's like discovering oil for the first time, or being there when the stock market was created. John, cryptos have been around for about 10 years, and that means they're still in their infancy. Less than 1% of the world owns them. Can you imagine what will happen when 10% of the world starts using them? What about 25% or 50%, John?
And those prices, they are going to surge.
You hit the nail on the head, and this next-gen coin is at the epicenter of it all.
All right, you don't have to tell me anymore. I'm sold. It sounds like once this upgrade hits, this coin will be on its way to doing 100,000 transactions per second, making everything faster and cheaper. So I know everyone is kind of wondering, what is this coin and how can I invest in it?
Well, I put all the details in that document in front of you. It's called the Next Gen Coin, the profit opportunity of a lifetime. Now, inside this report, I reveal the name and exact ticker symbol of the coin. And more than that, I explain the entire upgrade and why this coin is the most important technology of the 21st century.
Ian, you and your team, you've been working on this day and night. I mean, you haven't even put a fancy title on the page yet.
I mean, it doesn't need one. It's more important that we get this in the hands of our viewers today than to spend a few extra days trying to make it look pretty, John.
All right, so just to confirm, if I get this report, I can invest in this coin today.
That's right, and you should buy it today, which is why I want to get this into the hands of everyone watching right away. Look, I don't want anything holding anyone back from getting into this next-gen coin today, John.
Well, as you said, Cathie Wood, one of the top investors of our time, recently went on record calling for a 7,200% rise by the end of the decade. So if she's right, and I invest $10,000, it'd be a profit of $720,000. Is my math correct?
That sounds about right. I know a lot of you may be new to investing in cryptos, and that's fine. So I want to give you access to my Crypto Investing 101 video series today.
And Ian, I watched this series before I started investing in cryptos, and I got to say, it really makes everything so simple. Hi folks, quick note. Ian and I didn't spend much time talking about his Crypto Investing 101 video series. Fact is, if you're new to cryptos or maybe have some reservations about getting started, you are going to love this video series. Ian walks you through opening an account, making the first trade, and so much more. You can watch it right from your phone or computer so that you can start investing right away. It is a must-have. You'll love it.
I want them to have the video series as well, but I don't want to stop there, John. I have 3 additional crypto recommendations for our viewers in another report called 100x coins.
Okay, I love the sound of that, 100x. So this report tells me about 3 coins that I'm assuming could literally turn $1,000 into $100,000.
That's exactly right. Your math is great again. These coins could go up 100-fold within the next decade.
Well, we've seen you do it. Your recommendation on Luna actually went up 180x in less than a year. And we saw how some of your subscribers turned $1,300 into as much as $150,000. Of course, this was a rare and exceptional trade, but each of these coins has the same potential, right?
That's right, John. For example, the first coin I call the Google of crypto. Now, much like Google searches the web, this crypto does the same for blockchain networks. It's proven to be blazing fast, low cost, and easy to use. Now, using the same chart I showed earlier, the Google of crypto would be right here.
So it's a lot like buying Bitcoin 10 years ago.
Right, exactly. Now, I call the next coin the Amazon of crypto. It's a decentralized cloud storage platform. This coin is one of the fastest of its kind to reach $1 billion market cap, yet the price is still around $20. getting into it now is also a lot like getting into Bitcoin early on before it rose over 10,000%.
Or 100x.
Right. The third pick I have is called the Meta coin because it's at the forefront of the metaverse revolution. Now, Facebook has talked about this concept before. It's basically the next generation of the internet. And this coin is an absolute steal, John, especially since anyone can buy in for less than $10. As we spoke earlier, the smart money is already buying. And pretty soon, the big institutional money will flow in as well. And this is going to make the prices climb higher. All of these coins have the potential to 100x within the next decade.
Yeah, but Ian, some of your gains already went up that much in a year. I'm kind of a bit blown away. I was already sold on the next gen coin, which could rise 72-fold by the end of the decade, but I think these are even more enticing.
They are, but they're not as big of an idea as the next gen coin. They won't be valued in the trillions. They have much smaller market caps with the potential to soar, just like we saw with Luna when it rose 180 times over the past year.
So, just to confirm, our viewers today can get all the details on all three of these 100x coins along with the next gen coin in these two reports?
That's right. And I'll send you guys a digital copy today. But I have one more thing for our viewers, John. A third report.
All right, this just keeps getting better. A third report.
Yeah, this one's called Banking 2.0, and it reveals a company that's going to disrupt the entire banking industry by offering people an easy way to buy and sell cryptos.
All right, so it's not a crypto, it's a stock?
Yes, and I have a lot of confidence in this company. Mark Andreessen, who sits on the board, does too. He's the famed investor who serves on the board of Facebook and so many other tech companies.
So he knows a disruptive company when he sees one.
And he sees one in this company. ARK, BlackRock, and Tiger Global are buying shares of this stock already. Goldman Sachs released a statement saying this stock is the best way to gain exposure to the expansion of the crypto ecosystem. And I agree with them. This stock could easily rise 1,000% by the end of this decade.
1,000%. So this is a chance for everyday folks to invest as the big money piles in.
Yes, and I believe it's a smart move to buy this stock today.
Okay, so this is all very, very exciting. Let's review quick. The first report, Next Gen Coin, reveals what you call the greatest investment opportunity in history, as the coin is set to be 20 times bigger than Bitcoin, and experts predict it to rise 7,200% by the end of the decade. The second report, 100x Coins, reveals 3 coins that people can get for under $25. This includes the Google of crypto, the Amazon of crypto, and the Metaverse coin. And the third report, Banking 2.0, reveals the company that's creating a superior crypto trading platform and has the potential to rise 1,000% by the end of the decade. Ian, this is incredible. Now, these reports, they each have a value of $499, but you're going to give them away today for free?
That's right. I'm not asking for a dime, John. I want as many people to profit from this as possible. Remember, the entire cryptocurrency market is valued at just $2 trillion. That's smaller than Microsoft, and that's just 1/50th of the global financial market. And as more and more people put their money into cryptos, these coins are bound to explode higher, especially this next-gen coin. Remember, 99% of the world has not even invested in cryptos yet, John.
So as everyday investors move their money over to these cryptos, they'll likely soar. It seems inevitable. And there's still a ton of room to grow.
Oh, there's a ton of room, which is why I'm taking everything one step further. I also want to equip everyone watching here today with a risk-free membership to my flagship research service, Strategic Fortunes.
All right, now this, by leaps and bounds, this is my favorite investment service. And I am far from alone. Advisors from UBS, Merrill Lynch, Credit Suisse, Morgan Stanley, and JP Morgan are among Ian's 70,000 subscribers who span over 100 countries. And Ian, 70,000 people in over 100 countries. So perhaps you can explain to our viewers what Strategic Fortunes is exactly.
I would love to. The simple answer is it's a service that lets you look over my shoulder to see exactly what I see, every trade I recommend, and every insight I have on the market. It all starts with my model portfolio. This includes my top cryptocurrency and stock picks, and anytime I make a trade, I'll let you know via email and text.
And I love how I get a text every time a new trade alert comes out. You know, I never miss a thing. I also use the app, so it just pops up on my phone with a few clicks. I can actually make a trade, and it's easy. You only make about 1 or 2 trades a month. We're not talking about day trading here, right?
Exactly. We're not traders, we're investors. So it only takes a few minutes a month to follow my insights.
Now, my favorite part is the weekly updates.
I'm glad you like them. I put a lot of time into these, John. Every Wednesday afternoon, I send out a weekly update. These are simple 10-minute updates that keep everyone in the loop on the positions that we hold.
And you also include your take on the market. Now, I especially like it when the market gets volatile. You'll come on and explain what is really happening. So they kind of keep me and everybody else level-headed. Now, with that said, we've talked about some of your top crypto gains that these folks had access to, but your top stock gains are just as impressive. Okay, folks, take a look at this. Within 2 years, Ian closed out a 140% profit on Qualcomm and a 302% gain on Generac. He even made a 137% profit on Inspire Medical Systems and a 735% gain on Tesla. It just keeps getting better. Ian even sold half his position on SunPower for a 780% gain in just 7 months. 780%. The other half is still open with a lot of room to run. Now, Ian, you have a phenomenal track record, my friend.
Thanks, John. Well, I've been doing this a long time. For over 2 decades, both on and off Wall Street. Strategic Fortunes allows me to bring my Wall Street expertise to Main Street investors.
All right, you know, we haven't really spoken about your Wall Street experience much today. And as a former hedge fund manager, you actually crushed the market during the 2008 crisis, making a 250% gain in less than 2 years. Your expertise is just part of the reason you speak around the world, why you've been invited on national TV and quoted in places like Forbes.
John, I could see that so many people were investing the wrong way. So I developed a new way to help them invest in the market, which is the main reason I started Strategic Fortunes.
Now, you've shown them how to invest in 5G, AI, EVs, and of course, cryptos. You're actually up more than 600% in Ethereum?
John, we're living in some truly exciting times. My team and I are seeing so many opportunities out there right now.
I tell you, I can't keep up with all of those, but with Strategic Fortunes, I can. Now, whether it's cryptocurrencies or stocks, you give us the chance to invest early alongside the smart investors and before the big institutional investors.
That's right. I hold nothing back with this service. Strategic Fortunes puts all my best research and recommendations at your fingertips.
So let me break down everything our viewers will be getting. First, you get the monthly Strategic Fortunes newsletter. Each month, Ian sends out a detailed briefing with complete research and analysis of his top investment recommendations for that month. The Strategic Fortunes model portfolio. This is where you can see every stock and crypto that's on Ian's buy now list, including the 5 investments he's sharing with you today. We already spoke about the trade alerts. They come via email, text, and push notifications through the app, so you'll never miss out on a big opportunity. And as mentioned, every week Ian will send out a video of important events happening in the markets and how they impact the model portfolio. You'll also have access to a private members-only website. This is where all of Ian's content is located. Trade alerts, model portfolio, special reports, and more. And of course, a dedicated customer care team. If you ever have a question about your membership, the Strategic Fortunes website, or the model portfolio, you can reach out to Ian's team for help. Now, Ian, I know you put a lot of time and money into creating Strategic Fortunes.
That's right, John. My firm spends over $1 million a year on analysts, Bloomberg terminals, proprietary data sets, and more so we can track what the smart money is doing.
And basically, that gives you an unfair advantage, allowing you to see what the smart money is doing and potentially getting in before the big institutional investors.
That's exactly right. And when you can do that month in and month out, the returns really stack up, which is why I send out new investments every single month for subscribers.
I love it. And we're going to show everyone how they can sign up in a minute. And as you'll see soon, Ian will be making a 100% risk-free offer. However, our viewers have sent in quite a few questions, both before and during this presentation, and I want to answer as many as we can in the next few minutes.
Sounds good, John. Let's go.
All right, I got them all loaded up here. Here's one that I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. Eric in Iowa says, "This is great. Thanks. Does this mean that we should sell our Bitcoin?"
Great question. Well, I think Bitcoin is a good long-term hold. I predict it will still go up. We'll still see higher highs, and I still own some myself. I just think that this next-gen coin is better, a lot better, John.
Got it. All right, this next question comes from Tony in New York. He wants to know, how is the next-gen coin the best investment in history if those other three coins have 100x potential?
Oh, that's another good question. Well, the short answer is 100x coins are small cap. That gives them more upside. There are more speculative investments that trade under $25, and that makes them more exciting for sure.
Now, all four sound like a pretty good investment. All right, Mary in Oklahoma says, "I love what Ian has to say, but I've never invested in cryptocurrencies. How do I open an account?"
Another great question. We have 70,000 subscribers to Strategic Fortunes, and many of them, like you, Mary, are new to investing in cryptos. That's why I put together the Crypto Investing 101 video series. It's really quite simple. John, it's easier than ordering a pizza online.
You know, I get that, but I was a lot like Mary. I was worried at first, but then I watched your video series, and I mean, it just made it all simple. And Mary, keep in mind, we heard from Linda earlier who said she was new to cryptos and scared to invest. So she said she put $500 into each pick. And within a year, she made $42,300 with Luna. So don't let inexperience hold you back. All right, here's the next question. Tom in New York asks, "I want in. However, Bitcoin is super expensive. Does this next-gen coin cost tens of thousands of dollars?"
No, not even close. And the beauty of cryptocurrencies is that you can buy fractional amounts. No matter what the price of a coin is, you can invest $5, $20, or $100, and you'll own just a fraction of that coin. You don't have to invest thousands of dollars into them.
Got it. Sounds good. All right, Ian, let's go to our next question. This one comes from Frank in North Carolina. He wants to know, how much money should I put into this coin?
Well, it really depends on each person's own situation. My rule of thumb is to simply stay diversified. Never invest more than you feel comfortable with. And as with any strategy, you should never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Yeah, but this next-gen coin is pretty super exciting. I mean, Kathy Wood said it will go up 7,200% by the end of the decade. Even if she's half right, that's still a 3,000% gain.
Right, but as I said earlier, you don't want to bet the farm, John. And you don't have to because the potential here is so big. Plus, you want to keep some money available for future picks. Remember, I'll be giving 1 to 2 new recommendations every month, so you want to take advantage of those as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting those picks as well. Again, what I love is how they just pop up on my phone and I can make the trade whenever it's convenient. All right, let's go to our next question. John wants to know, what happens if the crypto market crashes?
Good question. As we all know, the market is volatile, so expect ups and downs. However, I want to be clear, John, we're not traders, we're investors. And as an investor, we think long term. We know cryptos have a big part in America's future.
All right, that is a good lead-in for our next question. Stacy in New Jersey says, "Thank you, Ian, for your insight. I'm retired on a fixed income, and inflation is a big concern for me. It seems that the dollar is just dying. Is this a good alternative to a savings account?"
Well, John, she's right. inflation is a huge issue. Now, most people don't know this, but 80% of all the dollars ever printed in U.S. history have been printed in the last 2 years.
All right, hold up, Ian. 80%. That's scary. It's no wonder we're seeing inflation.
Right, and I use the term printing loosely. They're really just creating digital dollars. So a lot of people are skeptical about digital currencies, but the US dollar is already a digital currency, John, and our government can print as much as they want, whenever they want, for whatever they want. The people, like us, have no control.
And I think we have to remember the US dollar is the world reserve currency. It's the best out there. Now, other countries have extremely unstable currencies. So globally speaking, people are happily trading in their money for cryptos.
Absolutely. And a lot of these coins, such as the next gen coin, have a contract for how many coins will be released every year. So you're not at the mercy of the government's printing press.
So the scarcity makes your money more likely to go up in value, not down.
That's right. You got it, John. Look, 100 years in the future, history classes will talk about this moment in time in the 2020s when the entire world quietly revolted against the governments. And banks, by trading in their fiat currencies like the dollar for decentralized cryptocurrencies such as the next gen coin. And I believe because of the investments I'm making today in these cryptocurrencies that my family, hundreds of years into the future, will reap the benefit.
All right, we're talking long-term generational wealth here.
John, it's the equivalent of saying my great-grandfather was there when the stock market was created. That's what we're talking about here, John.
Well, I think your grandkids will be able to talk about how you created this wealth for them and also how you created it for tens of thousands of others through this very presentation that we're recording today. All right, let's take a look at our next question. Aaron in Florida wants to know how he can sign up. Thank you, Aaron. We'll get to that in just a moment, but I've got another question I want to go to. Michael in Minnesota says, this sounds super exciting, but can you just give me the actual name of the crypto so I can buy it?
Good question, Michael, but no, that would really be a disservice. Really, it's very important that everyone reads the report on this next-gen coin to find out what the upgrade is all about, the risks and the rewards, and then decide how much they want to invest. And just as importantly, I want Michael to get my top investment picks every month, John.
Now, that's the best part, the Strategic Fortunes Service. Now, I've been following you for years, and the results, man, they are phenomenal. Last interruption, I promise. Now, Ian gets a little embarrassed when I brag about his results, so I thought I'd record a short video that highlights some of the experiences that Strategic Fortunes subscribers are having. Now, some of these folks have been investing for years, others just started. Jim Braden was up 300% on Tesla in just 6 months when he wrote this note. I really appreciate your insight, especially about disruptive companies. I took your advice on Tesla and I'm up $468,000. Keep up the good work, love it. He made $500,000 in 6 months. $500,000. Now, this next note is from Ronald Pelling. He said, Strategic Fortunes has been a great investment for me. I love your weekly updates and webinars. Gaining a lot of faith in your stock picks. Keep up the great work. Now, one more note here. This is from Harry Choi. He wrote, I'm so glad that I subscribe to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These are people who have been with Ian for many years, and you'll have the chance to join them in just 1 minute.
Today, the top investments are in cryptocurrencies, and it starts with this next-gen coin. It's expected to be 20 times bigger than Bitcoin.
Right, and we've shown how the number of Bitcoin millionaires went from filling a small section of the Seattle Seahawks stadium to filling up the entire stadium and then some. And there are now over 100,000 Bitcoin millionaires, and that happened in about 5 years, just 5 years. But all the data suggests this next-gen coin is going to be 20 times bigger by the end of the decade. That's enough to fill 20 of those stadiums.
That's right, John, and it sounds unbelievable. I want you to be one of those millionaires. I want everyone watching to be one of those millionaires. I want them to have a seat in the stadium, John, and enjoy just one of the greatest games ever. In my opinion, this is the best investment opportunity in history, John.
Now, as you said, this coin is at the epicenter of the $100 trillion financial industry, an industry that is 2,000 times bigger than 5G, 1,000 times bigger than AI, and even 100 times bigger than EVs. And your research is clear. The next-gen coin is at the center of it all. It's no wonder the market value has the potential to rise 20 times bigger than Bitcoin.
Right, but if you want in, you absolutely need to get a copy of my report, Next Gen Coin.
And the report is free, along with other reports that reveal 4 additional investments that they can buy today. You'll also be sending everyone your Crypto Investing 101 video series. All of this is free.
That's right. It's free when they accept a risk-free subscription to my Strategic Fortune service.
All right, let's talk about that a little bit. Okay. I'd be willing to pay $5,000 a year, even $10,000 a year for the service, but you don't charge anything near that.
No, I don't. Look, I don't want anything holding people back, which is why I only charge $199 for a 1-year subscription.
That's a steal. Again, I'd be willing to pay so much more for it.
And you know what, John? Before this show, I authorized a special deal for our viewers today. Just for watching right now, they can get access to Strategic Fortunes for an entire year. It's only $47.
Hold on. That's a lot better price than I got. I got to tell you, Ian, are you sure about this? That's an incredible deal you're making.
Well, John, I truly want everyone to get in on this opportunity. When I say that this is the greatest investment in history, I mean it. The entire financial system, John, this is a $100 trillion industry. It's being overhauled. And this one crypto, the next gen coin, the one that's in that report in front of you, is at the forefront of all of it. For centuries, people will be talking about this moment. And we all have a chance to be a part of it, to be a part of history.
Wow, I mean, that's incredible. It is truly an exciting time. Now, we've covered a lot today, Ian, so let me do a quick recap here. Now, today, through this special offer, you're getting 3 incredible reports. The Next Gen Coin, 100X Coins, Banking 2.0. Each of these are valued at $499. You're also getting a year's subscription to Strategic Fortunes. This is Ian's flagship research service. An annual subscription normally costs $199. That's a value in excess of $2,000. But when you order today, it is yours for just $47. Ian, again, this is an incredibly generous offer.
John, everything is unfolding fast. The upgrade date is at our doorstep. It's in that report right in front of you. I don't want anything to stand in the way. Look, I know my research and recommendations will improve your life. I'm confident in that. So earlier today, I talked to my entire team, and we agreed to give you a 100% satisfaction guarantee for the entire year.
A 100% satisfaction guarantee for the entire year. So they can sign up for the service, try it out for the full year, and if they're not happy and not completely happy, completely blown away with the results, they get a full refund?
That's right. I really want to make this a no-brainer, especially if people felt like they missed out with Bitcoin.
Ian, you are being very generous today. I mean, you shared your knowledge, and you're giving away almost $2,000 in value for just $47?
John, investing has been very good for me and my family, and I want others to experience that. I want them to experience what it's like to wake up and see a $1,000 investment turn into $100,000.
Well, you've already done that for some people, like with your Luna trade. We saw how one guy, I think his name was Edward, he invested $1,300 and it turned into $150,000 in just a year. That's enough money to buy a new car, take a luxury vacation, put a pool in the backyard. Hey, Edward, he could do all 3. Now, I know our viewers can't wait to get started. So, Ian, thanks for joining me today. I personally cannot wait. I cannot wait for this to happen and to invest in this next-gen coin.
Thanks for having me, John. And thank you at home for watching. I can't possibly tell you how important it is for you to get started today. As in, right now, John.
Now, Ian, I have to imagine everyone watching is as excited as I am. Again, Ian, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, John.
And folks, you just heard from one of the world's top crypto investors, a former hedge fund manager who invested in cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others for the last decade before they went mainstream. A man who's already seen gains as high as 1,000% in Binance, 1,900% in Solana, and 18,000% in Luna, all within a year. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you missed Bitcoin at $100, at $1,000, or even $10,000, you now have a second chance to invest before the big money piles in. This next-gen coin is positioned to leap higher. Mark Cuban, Cathie Wood, and Elon Musk are already investing as this coin is in position to power the rails of the $100 trillion global financial industry. You can invest alongside them or get left behind. The choice is yours. Goldman Sachs confessed that this coin could soon overtake Bitcoin, and the Nasdaq confirmed it is a contender to be the next crypto king. The time to act is now. Click the orange button below this video to get started. You'll be taken to a secure order page where you can review everything you're getting today. Thanks again for being part of this special event.